The world is shifting and a new era of leadership is rising. There are healers, intuitive speakers, writers, creatives, and visionaries who are no longer willing to separate their inner knowing from how they live, work, and lead. They're building freedom-led businesses, creating meaningful movements, and living extraordinary lives rooted in purpose and truth. Breaking free from outdated ideas of who they're supposed to be and no longer hiding the gifts they were born to share. The old way asks us to conform. The new era asks us to remember. Your gifts are not your downfall. They are your greatest advantage. So welcome to the Intuitive Leader Untamed, for the multidimensional leader here to expand influence, impact, and leave a legacy that changes the whole damn world.
Welcome to a new type of episode to the Bad Bitch Collective. We are also doing one with Miss June Mac. So I'm just going to intro my motherfucking self. My name is Demmi motherfucking Cannon. I am a leader for intuitives, spiritual business owners who want to live their most fully expressed life while making fucking bank and becoming the human who can actually hold their hectic business with the most fun, joy, and aliveness. We are doing this episode as what I'm going to call a double-ended dildo, okay? So I'm going to post this on the Bad Bitch Collective and June is going to post it on hers. So I'm going to hand the mic over to June Skis so she can intro herself.
Well, thank you so very much for passing the podcast hosting mic over to me. It's like a podcast host off today because I've been wanting to get you on my podcast for a while and I was like, well, I'm on yours. Let's just do a little, what would you call it? Double-ended dildo. Double-ended dildo. Love it. So I'm June Mac. My podcast is the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast, and I am a mentor in intuitive leadership. So basically teaching you how to hone in and refine your intuitive intelligence and use that to create alignment with your purpose, your mission, whatever it is that you came here to do, whether that be an author, podcast host, whether you have a business, all of the above. I just love helping people step into their missions and completely have an amazing, extraordinary, freedom-based like a business and life. It's sort of similar to what Debbie does, but also different. It's, anyway, but we can talk about that. But I have lots of different offerings, I guess, starting from whether it's intuitive awakening you're into, or whether you're into refining, or whether you're into like just creating the most abundant, amazing life. So yeah, there we go. Double-ended intros.
I love this. So how we're gonna run this is I'm gonna smash June with some June Ski's your name today, apparently, according to my little brain.
I love June Ski. I have a few
June Ski. It's like bro. I'm gonna hit June with some of the big questions that we ask on this podcast, and then we're gonna hand it over and she's gonna intro me. And I think this is so fucking cool. Girl, we might be creating a new way to do podcasts.
Oh, just kill two birds with one stone. Just double end it like both ways. So I'm ready to be prodded first. Go for it.
All right. So here on the Bad Bitch Collective, my first question that I ask all of the beautiful guests is, what makes you feel like your bad bitch self?
Okay, this is going to be so funny because I almost feel like it's the most annoying, like wanky answer to this question ever. And to be honest, like obviously it's my family, my kids, I'm a mum of 3, but also I feel like it's my clients, honestly. Like whenever I'm in my own head and I'm spiraling just about crap and about, oh, I can't do this is too hard, like blah, 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 this month has been fucked, da, da, da. It's always my clients that kind of pull me out. And I think like seeing them getting results out of what I do, actually, I don't know if this is like a codependency, but it almost makes me feel like, okay, well, I am doing something worthwhile. Like there are people that I am helping. And I always feel like the messages come at the right time. Don't you feel that? That like you get like these lovely messages like, what you said really helped me and this is what I've achieved and blah, blah, blah. And that helps me come back to myself, which I don't know if it's completely the wrong answer, but that's the first thing that's come to my mind is honestly, the people that I'm here to help, they remind me who the fuck I am.
Yeah. And it's fucking needed.
Yes, I can do this.
Yeah. And I think if I zoom out on that, the answer, like what June's saying there is it's her mission. Like, because what we have to understand is doing this kind of work or running a business, it's fucking hard, bro. And you can try to find the easiest way, but the internal spirals, even if you are the sickest of fucking sick and you're killing it, happens. And so when we focus that part, like on our mission, where it's like, you know what, fuck me, fuck my bullshit, fuck, all the shit I have going on, I'm here to serve.
Yes, absolutely. And that's like, That's a lot of what I have to keep bringing myself back to. Like, honestly, it's not all the time, but when I do spiral, I'm always like, why did you start this in the first place? Is literally because you wanted to help people, and that's what you're doing. So shut the fuck up and continue on with what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you for reminding me that this week has been that. I need that message this week as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even like sometimes really bringing it back to that, like a lot of people, you know, come in and they get confused, because I would love to know your opinion on this. But one of the things I think I see in people, why they get so confused, is because they're consuming too much. And there's like every coach, mentor, healer, psychic for something these days. And we've been taught, you know, that we're supposed to tell people about their problems and position our thing as the one and only thing. Mm-hmm. And so people get so confused by like, well, then I'm not doing the right thing, and what should I be doing? And I think like one thing inside of my offerings lately that I'm really focusing on is fuck what anybody told you. What is it that you want, and what the fuck are you actually here to do?
I absolutely love that, because that's honestly, and I tell this to people all the time, when I was like floundering around in my business, actually like it was a hobby, I'll be honest. I wasn't really making much money in the first couple of years of doing it. When I actually started to like make headway in my business was literally when I put the blinders on, and I was like, I'm just going to stick in my own lane. And yes, you can have mentors and coaches. They're amazing to get you where it is you need to go. But when you run whatever they say through your own intuitive, you know, intelligence, through your own discernment, and then go, oh, like, I get that, but actually I'm going to tweak it so that it feels right for me in this way. And I'm going to still continue doing with what feels right for me. And you learn to tune into that. That's like when shit started taking off. When I stopped looking at what, you know, A, B, C, and D, whatever we're doing, and just was like, no, what actually do I want to do? Even if it doesn't make any freaking sense. That's like the hardest thing. Is like you go, no, for some reason, you know, every mentor's saying you're supposed to do it in this order, da, 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 da. But I feel like I need to do it this way. And when you do it your way, because we're all here to do different things, like we're all here to express ourselves in different ways. Yeah, that's when shit starts to take off. So blinders
100%.
on. Those are one of those things that the horses have that like covers their eyes so they can't see. Like, Spirit literally keeps showing that to me in my head, but I don't know what the fuck they're called. So,
whatever they are called.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yes,
The horses have those like blinder things on.
Yeah. I fucking agree. And that's like my biggest pet peeve, is that a lot of people choose people because, you know, maybe they've got big results or they're working with whatever. But I think something June and I both have in common is it's about building a business that feels like you and following what is aligned for you.
Yep.
100%.
And that's why, like, when people jump on my discovery calls and whatever application calls now, if they're not like feeling aligned with me, but they've just, you know, maybe seen something and gone, oh, you can get people from here to here, but it actually doesn't feel right, you're not so excited to work with me, I'm not going to try and sell to you. Like, if it doesn't feel good for you, it doesn't feel good for me. I want you to be dying to work with me, you know what I mean? So I think in the beginning I was very much like, I would feel bad if someone said, oh, like you don't suit, da da da. Now if they're like, you don't suit, I'm like, sweet, that's amazing. I hope you find someone that does, you know?
Yep. Yeah. And I will say to anybody listening that saying no like that, a lot of people choose the yes because of scarcity. Oh, I need the client. Oh, I need the blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's universe and spirit testing you. Like inside of the work that I do around identity, it's like you need to anchor your standards. If you're accepting any bitch that's like a lazy fuck and she's not even going to do the thing, or she doesn't really want to work with you, but she's outsourcing her power to solve her money problems, like the moment you say no is the moment spirit, universe starts to send you clients who are dying to fucking pay you, ready to do the work.
Yeah, and I'm done with that also. I'm like, if it just makes it harder for me, you know, if you're not ready to do the work, I want you to come in when you're absolutely ready. And you can feel it in the other person, like in the client. If they're there, if they're ready to do the work, like get past it, then you can feel it.
Yeah, because most of the time they don't come with the bullshit excuses. Like I've never ever signed up with a mentor and been like, oh, but I don't think I can afford it. Like I will borrow money. I will go sell my ass. I don't care what I have to do. If I want to work with someone, I will figure out a fucking way. Yeah. I don't ever come to a mentor or a coach with any excuses about why I can't do the thing. It's like, I want you, tell me how much it is. I'll figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I only ever jump on an application call if that's the case also.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't advertised they haven't advertised their pricing yet, but I'm just going to sit there, and I literally sit there and I brace. I'm like, oh, what's she going to tell me? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
No, I did that. Yeah. I literally did that with my previous mentor, Athena. I'd like done her channeling spirit program, and then I was dying to work with her one-to-one, but girl, I thought it was going to be 20 grand. Or something.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Right. And I sat there clutching, and she said to me back then it was like $3.5 grand a month. And I was like, are you fucking joking? Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Take my money immediately.
That was actually the same with me and Sheila. I literally, because she had no prices anywhere, and I thought she was going to be about 20K. And then she was like half. So I was like, oh, but I was just trying to act cool. I wasn't like, is that all? I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll try and work that out for you. And then I was like, yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
All right. That's actually one of my next questions talking about like stuff like this is what's something within our industry that you don't agree with? Something controversial.
It's actually really funny because we sort of already brought it up, which is exactly the thing where so-and-so says like, follow my, one and this so-and-so blueprint and then like get the answer here. And then you try it and you're like, well, you promised this blueprint was going to work and that didn't work. And when people say, well, this is the only way you can tap in with spirit, any other way is unethical, or this is the only way, you hit your business, that just literally triggers the shit out of me because I'm like, why would a one size fit all when not one of us is exactly the same in any particular way? And there's so many people going like, there must be something wrong with me. I did so-and-so's course or program and, I'm completely burnt the shit out. And I'm like, that is so not in your archetype to work in this masculine way. Like, no wonder why you're freaking burnt out. And it's taken them a while to realize and go, and actually get permission and figure it out that some people, yes, they're very masculine. They can do like, whatever, 6 readings in a freaking day and then they're totally fine. And then other people post twice and they're like dead, You just got to find your right rhythm and flow and work with that. And that's why I try actually with a lot of my programs, I try to customize what I do to suit you as an individual because I've never found, and you'd be the same, 2 people that are exactly the same. Everyone's so different with how they work.
No, and that's like tuning into somebody's blueprint and like what capacity they actually have is really fucking important.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't work with anyone else besides psychics or intuitives these days, is because it's so much easier. They can tap into and feel into it for you.
Yeah. And also because like for me, I'm not going to lie, I've hired someone who is psychic but leads their business with strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fit for me. And the funny thing is they've got channeling and intuitive gifts, but don't use them as often. And when they do use them, oh my God, I was lit up. But solely focusing on this fucking 3D crunching, pushing this strategy, that thing, build this 7 million fucking sales page, like fuck up.
Also, like females in general, we're such cyclic beings. Like we're like this, all the time. And like I've even found, I don't know, do you cycle sync? Because I try to cycle sync like when I work around actually my cycle also. To a degree, like obviously sometimes you still got to do stuff, but I try to in the weeks that I am like, in my little want to rest, like period stage, literally. I try to do like admin type stuff, like stuff behind the scenes where I don't have to show my face as much because I actually find I actually don't want to show myself on socials in those weeks. I just want to go into my little hidey hole. So I schedule it purposely. So I schedule out content for that week that I'm going to be in my hermit phase.
Yeah, no, I love being seen. I froth. I know. That's why I'm on my socials 24/7. Like that is not a thing that's not a thing I struggle with. I even sat with the other day around like Alex Tripod when she invited me to her event that time. Remember that one I went to?
Yes.
Said to me, if you could be rich and wealthy as fuck, but you could never show it to anybody, would you want that life? And I said, no fucking way. Not because of my ego, but because I want people I know I'm a permission slip. So the thought of me, that's why I'm so authentic and I will share when I'm fucking losing my shit, when I'm struggling, everything, because people need to know it's okay. So I don't struggle with being seen, but I do hear and I know that for a lot of people, the content side of things is fucking shit and heavy and hard sometimes. So totally get that.
Yeah, I don't struggle with being seen. It's just more so there are times when I feel like my energy is better invested in say writing the content and then creating a carousel or something like that way rather than actually talking it out. And other weeks I can't shut the fuck up. Like I will use those things and I'll bank them and then I'll schedule them out later. I kind of go with how I'm feeling in that moment. But sometimes, I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm like, no, fuck no. I don't want to speak on my fucking thing.
Yeah, and
I'll bank that shit up and then send it out later.
Yeah, and I think this also, even on this point too, carousels are really good for long-winded shit you need to teach. You know what I mean? It's sometimes to sit there and try to talk in front of the camera for a whole 3 minutes is cunts are skipping. Whereas they'll actually take the time to read it sometimes, And
also being a mum, I've got 3 kids around. I can't always be like, da-da-da-da-da, because I actually don't like to, I show my littlest one, but I don't like to show my older 2 kids. And they're with me 90% of the time. So sometimes I literally can't unless my kids are going to be in it. And I don't want to show them all the time. It's just a personal decision. So it's hard. So that's when my carousels come up, when I've got the kids around.
which they're always awesome, which, by the way, BT dubs, love your content all the time.
Oh, same.
Love you. Obsessed with you, bitch.
I was just watching yours before we jumped on.
In my little moment.
What's this chick talking about now? I'm going to go back and watch that properly because I was relating to whatever that was.
I was talking about how I was having a moment and I was like, I'm fucking mad right now.
Yeah.
And
okay.
yeah.
Go back to that because I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah. So I also want to ask you something else that I really love to share in here, because the point of this is to be like as real as we can.
100%.
What was a time within your life or your business where it was really fucking hard and shit, and at the time you thought this is fucked, but looking back on it, it was like a real shifted things for you?
Quick little stoppy to maybe encourage a little shoppy. If you are ready to use intuitive intelligence to build a life and business rooted in purpose and extraordinary success, insert the Intuitive Leaders Academy. This isn't a space where you just learn intuition, it's where you step into the identity of a leader who is deeply connected and unwavering in your own self-trust. No matter where you are at on your journey, I have a pathway inside to suit you, including customized intuitive coaching to suit your desires. This is the premier container for the new era of multidimensional leaders, having already empowered hundreds of clients to create massive global impact. Whether you are just starting out or ready to scale your legacy, your next evolution begins here. Check out all the details in the show notes or reach out to book in a free call.
Oh, you know what? Probably when, so I've been in like this type of business for about 6 years. And before that, I was in entrepreneurship for probably like coming up to 11 now, but doing different things, like trying to find my way, like where do I fit? Like I just never felt like I fit in anywhere because it was so different and so specifically different in different ways. And I didn't think that I fit in anywhere. Well, now I feel like, you know, maybe I still do, or don't. But it was probably the point where I'm done having babies now. So this was just last year. So I had my third, she's 2.5. And we'd been saying between me and my husband, I'd been feeling like it was my time to take over who's the breadwinner. And I really wanted to give and go all into my business. I'd been craving it. I've been wanting the chance to because I've been busy reproducing for like whatever. My oldest is 12 now. I've had the time of supporting him, you know, in his businesses, and then he's been amazing. But I was feeling like it's my time to really put my all into this. And I'm actually going to get emotional around talking about it. But last year we decided finally we're going to fucking do it. So this was probably around September last year. And we started pretty abruptly, like long story short, the transition of me taking over, giving this a real go, and then him stepping back and doing like school drop off, making the school lunches, all that type of thing. And me trying to, can I make up what you're making financially? Because we both work for ourselves. We don't have like jobs or anything. You know, we've got a house, we've got 3 kids to feed. So honestly, probably the biggest freaking mind fuck of a whirlpool that I've ever been in was the transition from letting go of being the parent that is mostly, you know, doing the parenting, to letting him take over sort of that role. But like, you know, I still have a business where it's very freedom based, so I still have so much time with them. But just that mind fuck, I think, in your head of like, am I being a shit mum by doing this? Can I withstand the pressure of actually being the one who's got to like hold this shit together? Like we could lose our freaking house. Am I going to be able to feed my kids? Like, what's if I fail and fall on my fucking face, like through all of this? And then letting go of literally like fighting over in the mornings. He's like making the school, you know, lunches and stuff. And me having to like hand over the sandwich. And he's like, put it down. I can do this now. Like, I've got this. I was like holding on to that sandwich like it was no tomorrow. Like, no, I do this. Like, this is my job, you know? And he's like, well, I do that now, you know, and just letting that go, that was so fucking hard. And looking back at it now, I managed to replace his income and then some, you know, since.
Wow. Fucking love it.
Yeah. So it was really, really hard transition, but I'm so glad that I didn't. I wouldn't regret anything. We've probably had the best, like, whatever, 10 months of our lives in this phase. And I still go up and down of like, this is a lot of pressure. And then I feel bad because I took him for granted. I was like, you got this, you're fine. And now I'm like, fuck, this is hard, man. Like, this is scary to have like, you know, children dependents relying on you. But it's his mental health is so much better because he was so stressed. I love my work. He was stressed because he was out of alignment with it. He was meant to let go of it. Whereas I love what I do every day. I'm so excited. And if he said tomorrow, like, okay, pack it in now, you can't do this anymore, he would never do that. But I would be absolutely shattered. I wouldn't change it for like the world because I can't do anything else. I don't know how to do anything else. Like, this is me. This is the only option I have. So I better motherfucking do it.
It's giving Eminem. This is the only motherfucking option. Failure's not.
Pretty much. I was listening to that this morning. It was on the radio.
Oh my God, it's confirmation in
the
that.
day. Vomit on my sweater already and mum's spaghetti.
Yes, I love this, babe. And I think it's really cool because like even in previous podcasts that I've done, there's this big shift happening around women stepping into leadership roles. And there's a lot of deconditioning that has to happen because what we understand as masculine and feminine roles that society's taught us, they're so old and outdated. And I think you're like a prime example of a beautiful feminine woman running a feminine business while the masculine holds and supports you, you know?
Yeah, and he's perfect for it. And it's actually really crazy because I've only thought about it this past year. I actually grew up with my dad who was the stay-at-home dad and my mum who went to work. So yeah, to me, it's not like, you know, that different. And I've picked a male who's quite nurturing, like how my dad was. And so I think like, yeah, it's a good example of what it can be. And he's been living his best fucking life. Like he's loving it. He's been baking. I'm like, shit, you're a better mum than I am. Like, honestly, baking shit, like pre-preparing lunches, dinners.
Darling.
Loving it. Yeah. And so
I also want to ask you, babe, like the pressure you talked about, because like this is something that as women, we're very different to men because we are so emotional. And what I am finding inside of the industry is a lot of women are either the pressure is so much they're in burnout and procrastination because they're building in a way that they think that they have to, or they're so stuck in like crash out cycles where it's like a little bit and then crash the fuck out. And like this pressure that you're talking about is exactly why I created this retreat, right? It's like I'd been through a really intense period of deep pressure and I just couldn't fucking move. So like for the listeners and for your humans too, like when this pressure arises, what do you do in those times?
Yeah, and I guess this is where like being in the coaching space or mentoring space or whatever you want to call it for like 6+ years comes as a benefit. Working with other people who have taught me tools to pull myself out. I more so now know it's actually okay to be in the feelings and to be in and sit in the spiral. And actually there's more power in sitting in what it is that you're going through, feeling it, actually reaching out for help, because it's something I used to struggle with in the past, was actually I actually need to talk to my mentor right now, or I need to talk to a friend or whoever and tell them that I'm crashing the fuck out. And then, you know, just have them give me a little slap around the ear hole, almost like enough of that is kind of like how I get myself out. And then also like having this connection, you know, with your intuitive side, with spirit, and sitting with that and go, right, what do I need to do? I literally did that before we jumped on this call because last week I was going through the fields, I was going to show you my notes, but it's stuck under the computer. I was going through the fields because my dad, he passed 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago, but my birthday was yesterday. And if anyone that's been through grief, every time it's like especially a birthday or something and they're not here, I just go back into the fields, and you can't stop your body energetically like doing that. And so I sat with all of that and I made just like shitloads of pages of notes that literally are like, well, this is what you do to get yourself out of it. So having that connection with spirit is also amazing. I also messaged my mentor. Yeah, so I'm hoping like, you know, I actually do intuitively feel like the next 2 days I'll be out the other side. Whereas before I would resist it and I'd fight against it and I'd keep going. And that's how you really crash out and end up burnt out, is if you try and resist. So now it's like, and I hate the saying because like it's so much easier said than done, but surrendering, you know, to that and actually sitting with it than trying to push through.
Yeah, totally hear that. I think sometimes my only thing is like a lot of the work that I do with humans is around the energetic side of things. Like, so how do we keep ourselves and our personal energetic frequency at a level where we're actually still in magnetism and attracting? So like for me, sometimes what I find though is people, and this is where discernment comes in, of how long do I sit in it? And then before I start actually either tuning in, practicing certain tools, or doing things to kind of shift my frequency.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think like, so last week was the week that I was going through it. I think I gave myself one day really where I cancelled, like, to be honest, I cancelled a client, and I never freaking cancel clients, and I cancelled them, sat in it that day because I could feel the grief, and I actually, so dumb, like didn't know what it was connected to. But when I sat in it, they were like, duh, it's because it's your birthday coming up and your dad's still dead 4 years later. And then kind of just with that acknowledgement, that's kind of just what I needed to understand, and then begin digging myself out of the hole.
Yeah.
You know, I just needed a day.
Yeah. And so, and got like, and but this is the thing, like depending on what it is, sometimes it's a day or it's 2 days or whatever it is. I know that I've seen clients and will get stuck in it for months.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck me, bro. Like, come on, we're going to do something to get the fuck out of this energy. Yeah.
And there's a difference also between like, not taking accountability for it and then using it as an excuse. And then also like sitting in it, but then knowing, okay, now what do I do to get out? So like example, reach out to your freaking mentor or sit with spirit or whatever and pull yourself out of it rather than continuing to sit in the wallow. Because in the past, I have gone through ones like before I understood how to get myself out of it that I've gone for months.
Yeah, like I just come out of one. Come out of one. My last podcast was from like December, you know, but I guess the difference was like I am very good at still showing up again. Showing up is something that I do, and I'll do it raw, I'll do it messy, whatever. But I went through a really long period of spiraling, and even back then I couldn't get myself out of this energy. I couldn't do the practices that I knew worked. And the funny thing is, Spirit said to me, you had to go through this because my journey in business has just been like this. So if somebody had to come to me and said to me, oh, I'm stuck in doubt, spiral, fear, I can't move, I wouldn't have been able to relate. Because I was like, I jumped into coaching, mentoring after being the little healer, and everything for me was like, da, 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 da. So it's like I had to like drop down and have this lived experience so that I can actually move people through with more integrity, right?
Yeah,
but yeah,
so
girl, get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. Last question for me is if there was one thing that every single human knew or did that would change their life, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to fuck up. Literally. I think like that's probably one of the only reasons why I'm still here. And still going in entrepreneurship, like 10 years later, is because I have taken how I feel about, you know, what people would call failing or failure totally different, where it's like, how are you ever going to figure out or get better if you don't actually fuck up? And there's so many things I look at that I'm like, oh my gosh, like cringing, or I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I said that. And I still do that on the daily. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? But then being able to take it and go, right, like, what did I learn from that? And you just readjust and then keep on going. And also there was something else that just popped in that I wanted to say, but it's gone. Anyway, that's it. Don't be afraid to fuck up. Keep going. Also, don't be afraid to pivot and change, because I have changed and had deaths and rebirths 10,051 times. And that's why a lot of people come to me like, what is my thing? I'm like, babe, your thing is like probably 500 different deaths and rebirths from now until then. Yeah. Like, just relax and just figure out where you're at now, and you can pivot and change as you go. Like, I started fucking making resumes. So I obviously knew that like part of my life path here, I had that feeling, was to help other people step into something of who they want to be and what they want to achieve. It was helping them with their resumes, like lols. That's like completely different from where I am now. Yeah. I did business coaching, but without the spiritual side. And that just didn't fucking work for me because like, you know, because I thought that just wasn't a thing. I did so many things. Like, you'll laugh. I've done cleaning, like literally going to people's houses, like arranging their DVDs in order. Like, I've been personal assistant.
Girl.
Yeah, like
I
I've done
love it.
everything. I've done everything, but everything that I did and I tried, I learned something that's taken me and gotten me to where I am now. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be where I am now without fucking up, without trying all the different things. Like,
Yeah, and that's 100% the same thing. And I think even for me personally, all I know is I have to go through lived experience things. So like when people come to work with me inside of the spiritual space, it's like I've been a healer. I've run retreats, I've run events, I've run a mastermind, I have run podcasts. I like anything you think you want to build or do, memberships, this, that, I've literally fucking done it. So it looks messy as fuck because I've had on 700 different hats, but also I know that I actually have to live through experiences in order to be able to, you can't get a certification for those things, guys. Like, also fuck a certification. I hate those things, but like, there's things that you actually just have to live through in order to be able to, pass on and teach the knowledge.
definitely. And I didn't understand because I did like 5 years of professional psychic and mediumship readings, and I thought that's my thing. And I did healing and I did all these healing modalities and I thought that's my thing. But actually my thing is to bring all of these things together. And like you said, help you if you're a healer, if you're a psychic, if you're a medium, if you want to make resumes, if you want to write a book, I can help you with all those things too. So I love that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely got to go through it.
And so for anybody listening from my end, I will drop June's contacts below. But what are some of the things you're offering at the moment if they feel like really connected with you and might want to work with you?
Well, I have the Intuitive Leadership Academy, which has a range of different tiers now to help you meet you where you're at, either on your intuitive journey or your business journey. Or you can work with me one-on-one. So just find all that stuff on junemac.com. I have one book, Remembering Grandpa, which is a children's book that's come out. Another one that's coming out in September called Trust and Transformation. But you can find me, I'm on Instagram probably the most, Ms. June Mac, but on all platforms as that. And then the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast. So this episode, which is going to be a mine. Thank you.
Woo!
Yay. Oh my God. Exciting. Thank you so much for having me. And now, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Oh, hey guys, we're back.
Double-ended. We're flipping over onto the other side. So yeah, thank you so much for being my podcast. I actually love to have you. I know you've already introduced yourself, but explain a little bit more about what it is that you do. Just so that people can understand, how there's like the elevator pitch and then there's like the deeper.
The depths.
Yeah, actually
the depths.
Talking it into English so that the normal people can understand.
Hello, normal people.
No one's listening. No normal people listening to my podcast.
I know. So what do I do? I am a channel. And like I said to you guys, I have done 700 million different things. But my favorite thing to do is find people who want to build something from their soul. And you might right now be a little bit confused about how that looks or what the expression of that is. I love to help people step into more of them because my knowing is the more of you that you are, the more well paid you are, the happier you are. And like I've even said inside of this already is I want to help people build a business, an empire, a movement that actually feels like them because it saddens me. I see so many people trying all these different things and like I said, listening to everybody else on the internet, and you have a specific blueprint and the way that you are here to express and show up, and even, your creations, like they're an expression. People talk about building, and building is a part, but it's more of an expression. We want things to be an expression of your soul. So my work is in expression, identity, energetics. I can help with strategy because I'm a channel, but it's like 10%, 20% of everything. Everything else is really around like, who the fuck are you being right now? So yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really funny actually how we connected. So funny story when I think back to it. I don't even know how I started following you. I started following you somehow. And literally like, when you kind of have that, I don't know if it's like, I call it like a soul recognition of like that person, like there's something about this person. And, you make the scroll stop, which I will definitely give you like hats off, hands down. Like you can't make that scroll stop like the stuff that you post. But I was like, oh my God, who is this chick? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do a bit of a stalk. I'm going to go and check out her stuff. And then I was like, oh my God, she's got the same branding colors that I have. At the time, we were the same branding colors. And then I was like, oh, she's a business mentor. So that's like what I do as well. And she's a channel. I was like, what the fuck? Like, because I hadn't seen that many around, to be honest, at that time. Now I've seen a lot of them. But I can't even remember how long ago this was. But anyway, I was literally like, oh my God, she's so cool. Like fangirled you immediately. And Spirit was like, just fucking message her and tell her. So I did. I literally jumped into your inbox and was like, oh my God, I love like everything that you're doing and everything. I just wanted to tell you that. It was something along those lines. And then I think you said, I stalked you too.
Yeah. Hello. Reciprocal energy.
Oh, too funny. So anyway, that's how we ended up in each other's spaces. And since then, we've just been chatting backwards and forwards. But I absolutely love the fact that you've brought people back to being okay with being like themselves and actually showing how much of a strength that is. Because I will admit, even when I first started in this space, I thought like whenever you speak online, whatever, you got to be like a newsreader. You know, I thought I've got to be like so professional and I've got to like make sure I look good and talk like a newsreader type thing. At what point did you realize that like authenticity or bringing people back to like being themselves and not being afraid to stand in who they actually are was a part of what it is that you do? You know, like...
That's a good question. I think because in my own journey, I have worn so many masks and, you know, starting off inside of the healer. And I think I want to even highlight, like you said before about, you know, I thought this was the thing and I thought that was the thing. And I think we are going to continuously, life is forever evolving and we're forever changing. And we're going to continuously be finding new things about ourselves. But back then I thought I had to wear the spiritual clothes to be the spiritual girl. And I had to, you know, alhamdulillah and, you know, ride no penis and drink no alcohol. And I made all these external things mean that then I was powerful, you know, that outsourcing of ourselves. And eventually, like, I don't know, I just thought like, fuck this. And in my presence, people have always been the most comfortable because I'm ridiculous. I am the most ridiculous. And so like the person you meet online is the person who you also get to be mentored by and everything else. And I could feel this disconnect between my content. If I showed you previous content, you know, and I just became more of myself. And I was like, why do I feel like I need to mask who I am online or who I am to my clients? Like, it's exhausting. The healer archetype, I, you know, sat in sessions thinking to myself, shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of hearing you go on and on about this same thing you've been talking about for 6 sessions. Bless your soul. Like, when I really want to say, babe, get the fuck up. And so it was really for me unmasking and then just practicing being my most ridiculous self. And I honestly, that's when I've had the most like impact. I have a collective audience of nearly 70,000 followers and, insane. You know, like I am very good at the visibility aspect. I know how to grasp attention. I have a very silly side, but I'm a very deep person. So it's the balancing act of both of those parts for me.
And I think a lot of people will relate to this because probably one of the biggest things that people come to me for is being afraid to step out of the spiritual closet, like literally being afraid of showing their spiritual self. And I was the same. When I first did my intuitive development program, I had this fear like, oh my God, like I'm going to change and I'm going to be one of those chicks that like dances around in blood under the full moon. Like, and I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to lose all my hilarious, you know, being funny and my personality and all this stuff. And when I actually then stepped into the spiritual space and realized like, actually you can keep the parts of you, whatever the fuck you want to keep, and you can still be yourself and then still be like, you know, super spiritual and do weird ass shit. But also, and then like maybe dance under the full moon, but still be yourself, you know, and not lose that part of yourself also, which has helped a lot of people, you know, like then be brave in stepping out. So in saying that, the question that I had for you was when you were coming out of the spiritual closet or when you were like, you know, removing these masks, as you're saying, like, and becoming more of yourself, like what kind of a process was that for you? Because for me, it was very much a process. It wasn't just like one day I was like, yeah, cool. Like I'm just going to be myself and then, you know, step out and still say, you know, still swear. Like I didn't swear for ages on the front line. It was like a piece by piece kind of unmasking. Yeah. Like, yeah, did you just flip the switch or were you like, do you reckon it was like, are we still unmasking? I feel like I'm still unmasking.
We're always going to unmask me because we're always discovering new parts of ourselves. And I talk about being a swinger, right? Not just sexually. I'm talking about like a swinger. We swing on the pendulum. So the more inner work that you do, you might start off over here, super inside of yourself, boxed in, Miss Professional, rah-rah. You start to do this deeper identity work and you swing out a little bit. And now you might come way out the gate and then you swing back and back and back until you find some sort of center. But at each and every layer and level, you uncover more of yourself. Like you do more identity work. I don't know, you get more more comfortable expressing yourself online, whatever it is, you swing on the pendulum, soft girl to like super harsh, then to find your center. So I definitely think it's always a process. But for me, what it was, I came from like super woo woo. I was one of them bitches that was like alhamdulillah, like, you know, no, seriously, because I am the type of person, like, I am all fucking in with everything. I don't half dip my dick into stuff. So I'm like all in. So when I was full spiritual, it was like hectically woo woo. And then I swung out into like, okay, now I'm going to go out on the weekends all the time, get drunk as fuck and shake my ass and whatever else. And so like this constant kind of swinging and
forward.
Yeah. And so like even now I'm in this centering phase of I can be this woo woo and I can also be this outrageous and I can also be funny and also be deep.
Yes. Yep.
The polarity.
Yes. Love that. So good. How did you actually get into this? So this is something I've always been intrigued in, and I've actually never even asked you this question before. I was saving it for the podcast. So people who are listening to my podcast kind of know a little bit about my background. Like, for example, I started more so in like not corporate, but it was sort of like HR management, operations and retail, like training type stuff. And it's kind of, you can sort of see how all of that has weaved into kind of what I'm doing now. But I know that you had struggles with addiction. I don't know the full story on that. I know that you felt like, I think you weren't working for a period of time. And then like now I feel like you're just this big ass boss bitch. Like, tell us, the story of then how you found the spirituality, tell us the story like from the beginning, but also obviously like not 5 hours long. Yeah. As much as I'd love to hear it, but like,
of course. We'll have to catch up with for margaritas for the real life.
I know, yes.
So I was a drug addict for 10 years. I was addicted to hard drugs like ice and things like that. Yep. The funny thing is, even all the way back then, I had psychic gifts that I didn't know were psychic because people would always come to me. And for anybody who's listening, sign your psychic. People would always come to me and tell me all their things. And I would just have this insane advice that even I was like, bitch, where the fuck did that come from? Like, what do you mean you just said that? You've never been divorced. So I had all these gifts and I'd always been like serving and helping others and kind of, inside of that energy. Coming towards the end of my addiction, I had a partner who worshipped Satan.
Oh, wow.
So
Dude, we need these margaritas. I have so many questions.
Oh, girl. So I kind of had started delving into before then a little bit, crystals and oracle cards. And then I got with him and he taught me this whole other side of like energetics and spirituality. I then went from there into a Christian rehab. Can you see the polarities of my tone?
Yes. Oh, my God.
But before I'd gone to rehab, I'd started studying holistic counseling because I could see in myself that I loved, even with all the addicts that I hung around, I loved serving, I loved helping, I had a gift for this. So I studied holistic counseling, got out of rehab, thought that any Reiki or energy practice was of Satan, had to decondition myself around that work and then became a fucking healer. Did that for a year, like you, hobby kind of style, but just wanted to help people. And then, started developing like a program. My first program was an inner child healing container. I landed consistent $5,000 months with that. Realized I fucking hate being just a healer. And, started doing mentoring, coaching and hit my first $10,000 a month and then just,
went from there.
Yeah. And really just, I love seeing I'm a Sagittarius and a manifesting generator. So everything for me is like expansion. I do shit quickly. But one of my favorite things is really igniting self-belief and passion back in others. I want people to believe in themselves. Yeah. I believe in people so deeply because I can see their potential. And so like my thing is, I want you to believe in yourself so much. And I fucking love you and I want to support you and I want to encourage you and I want to help you become and build the thing. So that's how we got here.
Amazing. I feel like we're so the same in that aspect because that's honestly the biggest part for me is and you would have been the same, being able to see the best in somebody else. And it's just like the best feeling when they then also get to see that best version of themselves and see that coming out. That's like literally what, and there's some people say like, don't you ever get like competitive or like, feel jealous when you see other people and they're coming out and they're doing their things? Not saying that that's a bad thing because that's a normal thing to absolutely feel that way. But for me, I actually don't. I'm actually like, fuck yeah, like that's amazing. Like I fucking wish I could do that. or it's so good to see them like coming out as the best version of themselves. But would you say that the healing aspect or going down the healing avenue is kind of like what helped you out of the addiction? Do you think like that's part of what pull you out of that?
I did a year in rehab, and I think what happened for me was I've always meant to be a leader. You know, so I've never really been a follower or a sheep. So it's kind of like I've always meant to be a leader. So even inside of the rehab, I stayed there and worked there for a year leading the women. So I became the house supervisor.
Wow.
So all of these skills and all of this, I kind of naturally cultivated that, which is, again, probably why stepping into running events and all those things, I wasn't scared, because I'd cultivated some level of, you know, leading already. Which, again, it takes a little bit to cultivate if you've never been inside of spaces. But I'm also very adaptable. Like, I'm very intuitive, very adaptable, pick up on things like quite quickly, like fast for me. So, yeah. But the healing, everyone has to go through the healing phase. It's essential. You don't get to just land in any form of business and not go through 7 million shadow ego deaths and, you know, want to burn your entire life to the ground.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is there's lots of people that, you know, I've interviewed or, you know, that are clients that have been through other different types of modalities, for example, or like counseling, seeing psychs. And then the thing that actually got them out of, you know, what they were going through or got them through the other side was actually the spiritual aspect, or like the healing side that sort of led them down that route. Was kind of like, the question was going with that.
Well, I think the funny thing is for me is in high school, I wanted to be a psychologist. And then I obviously went down the path of drugs, and that opened my mind up to the world definitely not being black and white like I'd always thought it was. Yeah. And like, truthfully, I respect psychology for some things, but I can't fucking stand it because I hate boxes. And I'm so grateful now that I didn't do that, because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the labels. I don't believe in the pills. I know that sometimes it serves, and people get shitty about this. And I say, like, I understand mental health is a thing. I don't agree with the way that mental health is prescribed or tried to be fixed. I think that it's such a deeper root energetically than people understand.
I probably agree with that too. It's funny also because you're saying you had to decondition from like what you'd learned. I was actually brought up Catholic. So, and like, you know, Filipino mom who that's all they know is like super Catholic. We had to go to church every Sunday, and not saying that necessarily like from my mum's side, she's actually always been super supportive, but definitely family members, like, cause you know, I don't know if you have a lot of Filipino friends, they're like, can be harsh as fuck. Like my aunties, oh my God. But the whole, like, you're doing Satan's work by being intuitive, by connecting with spirits, that was a big thing for me of telling them what I actually do now. I had aunties saying, don't open your third eye. Like, you're not meant to open it. Here's some spells. They're giving me these traditional spells to, like, close down your third eye. So it was really hard kind of like, even just coming out of that Catholic box into this one, which is like, you know what, I'm just going to believe what I feel feels right for me. And I wanted to ask you too, because this is something that my listeners like to know about, is, you know how you were saying people were coming to you for advice, like always, you always like were able to channel shit. Did you have experiences with like spirits and all that type of thing growing up? Like, did you have any inkling that you would be like super intuitive later on? Like now looking back, because you know how you look back in hindsight and you go, oh shit, like that's actually not normal.
No, I didn't grow up in a space where any of that was a real thing ever. Like I never thought I was special. I didn't think, oh my God, I saw spirits. Like none of that was a thing for me. It's never been a thing. I've always felt things very deeply, but I just, you know, and I was told that I was overly sensitive and all of those like things as a normal child. My ear is ringing, spirit. Sorry. But the probably only thing I could say relate to potentially was my nan used to make me watch Days of Our Lives. Do you remember that show?
Yes. Oh my God. I used to watch that with my husband's nana.
Whatever that lady was in it, Marlene or whatever her name was, used to scare the shit out of me. And I used to lay in bed and I used to feel something enter. And I feel like I've gone through in my spiritual journey, because I don't see physically spirits, the clairvoyant energy. And I've had to request to open it many times. But I think that's where I shut that off. But no, I didn't grow up in a household where that was like a whole thing, and I never really thought I was special. Now I do, but I didn't think so when I was younger, you know?
Yeah, so you never had like, you know, because spirit would, I had an imaginary friend, like literally, oh my God, and the camera just all flickered then, did you see that? I had an imaginary friend who my mum thought was an imaginary friend, but I was definitely talking to spirit like back then. So you didn't have experiences or anything like with ghosties. I love that. Because so many people are like, well, I never naturally had that, so I can't, bring. I'm not intuitive. I'm not psychic. When it's absolute bullcrap, because you actually need to have that, to be able to connect. And did you go through intuitive development, or is it something that you kind of just like figured out how to sort of do it on your own?
Something I figured out. Like it's literally something I just figured out. And then, do you know what's hilarious is, true to my manifesting generator style, I started teaching it without ever studying anything.
I mean, you do it how you do it, right? I did learn. So I did learn from professionals. However, what I learned from professionals was take how you do it.
You don't teach it like that, right? Like
I don't. Yeah.
No.
And I actually didn't need to do it, but that's what helped me at the time to get confident with it. So I did do it. I did get something out of it.
That's my whole thing about like certifications too. So I fucking hate them. I think that people need to understand how to hold safe spaces. But honestly, like if I was to ask any solid practitioner or business owner now, do you use any of the things that you learned from your modalities? Most of them would say no. Everybody switches eventually to trusting their own fucking intuition and building things their own way. And that's like the shit I kind of want to help too, is you don't need more certificates, motherfucker. You need to trust yourself.
Yes, that's number one, is self-trust. Because then even if you have learned all these modalities, you trust yourself enough to take, I'm going to take that from Reiki. I'm going to take this part from kinesiology. I'm going to take this part of homeopathy and bring that into my own thing to help you. Like I'm going to bring all these things that feel good for me from what I learned to teach you. And that's kind of like what I do, because I did do like a fair few modalities. But then nothing resonated with me. Like I was like, Reiki's got too many fucking steps. I couldn't tell you one freaking symbol or whatever that I learnt. And I feel like what we do, or what you do, what people out there do, is so much more powerful than like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps or whatever that you learn, because you're taking that directly from ancestral lines of, years and years of using your abilities in different lifetimes. But in saying that, going to round it up, what would you say, I guess? So seeing that you're on the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast, I'm almost afraid to ask you this question because you are Demmi motherfucking Cannon. What would you say would be the most untamed, like outrageous thing about you as like a mentor? Oh, wait, before you answer that question, there's one thing I've been wanting to ask you. Sorry, put a pin in that. I saw this thing that I can't remember if it was in a podcast. No, it was like a clip of a podcast episode where you were saying you self-pleasure and then use it for manifestation. And I'd never heard of this from anywhere, but it makes so much sense to me and I'm intrigued. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, like, tell us your methods. Why does that work and how? Because it makes sense, but also I don't know how to explain how that makes sense. So I feel like as soon as I heard a snippet on your thingy and I was like, fuck, I got to ask her about this shit.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, okay, why? Absolutely. Let's talk for a second about like our womb being the center of creation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we understand that.
That's why that makes sense. Yes.
Yes. A woman's sexual energy is from her womb center.
Yep.
So when you think about pleasure, the energy of pleasure, the energy of magnetism, right? It's a fucking attractive. Sexual energy is attractive, right? When someone's feeling them fucking selves, it's like, damn, like that's a vibe. Or a woman who's confident, same thing, all from the same center. So when you self-pleasure, and then after that moment, like so graphic here, but if you know me too bad, get over it.
No,
when you're
inside, that's why I'm like, I got to ask it.
Yeah. Well, after you orgasm, right? Yeah. After you orgasm, and then if you lay there, you can feel all of your centers literally open up. Like it is, you are so open. And then in that moment, right after you reach your pinnacle, I close my eyes. I've been doing it for my retreat. And I close my eyes and I picture right at the doorway hugging all the 11 women that attend.
Yep.
Yeah. And then that's it. Thank you.
That's how you magnetize. Yeah. Okay. Literally, I'm like writing out the steps because I'm like, I just got to understand this, visualizing basically, but then using your body's energetic state. Yeah. I like that.
Because you got to remember, like, it's a felt sense and a felt state. Like if you're already in that sexually open, creation energy, and then you visualize, like babe, I've manifested like crazy shit doing stuff like that.
Like, you go and watch all the people now who are just going to be manifesting their best lives by this method.
Please do it. Go play with yourself 10, 20 times over a day if you need to be manifesting a life.
Maybe you need a trademark. You need to come up with a name for this manifestation technique and trademark
it. It's called sex magic. It's an actual thing.
Well, see, I didn't, no idea. That's why I was like, I think I might have seen it when you were talking about your retreat, actually. I sort of skimmed past it and I was like, wait, hang on. I feel like I have 10,000 questions to ask about this. So thank you. Thank you for filling us in on that. Being untamed also, oh my God, yes. Why are you so untamed?
Why am I so untamed?
What is the biggest part that you think that I guess is out of the box for you versus like other people that are in our space?
My expression.
Okay, yeah.
It's my expression. Yeah. It's how ridiculous and bold, and I say the things that people probably aren't willing to say, and I show up in ways that probably aren't super, like a lot of people, again, try to be that pretty professional, personal, like polished version, and I'm here for the people who are like me and don't want to build in a way that's performative or masked. Like, if you're a ratchet ass bitch who swears her ass off, like, I want you to know that it's okay to be like that. And so I'm way out the gate with stuff, like I'm really ridiculous with the things that I say. That's probably the most untamed thing, because I know that there's people that are like me, and they probably need to go through an unmasking process to bring this out of them, to let this come back alive. So yeah, that would be my most untamed thing, is my expression, for sure.
Very, very on brand. Good answer. And where can people find you if they want to find you? Where are the most places you're most active on?
Yes, Instagram, Demmi Cannon. You can find me on TikTok. TikTok's a wild ride. We have many things going on over there. But yeah, or website, just demicannon.com. I have 2 M's in my name, but we'll both tag stuff below anyways. By the time this comes out, I don't know if my retreat's already run. You can ask to sign up to the next one, Play, Pleasure and Purpose. Otherwise, I've got 1-to-1 spaces open, because I'm building out my little next level of group stuff. So yeah.
When's your retreat again?
The Lionsgate Portal weekend, 6th to the 9th. Get this, I make a reel, I make a reel trying to be somewhat like normal, and Instagram types over it, dicks to the 9th.
What?
Yeah. Dicks, penises. And I'm like, of course, like, why would I ever try to be anything but just my actual fucking self?
So wait, is that posted? Or is that, I need to find this freaking post.
It's on my reel. Yeah, I changed it for my ad, but I was like, fucking hell, are you joking? Like, I'm just not even going to bother ever trying to be anything but me. Seriously.
Oh, it's like what happened that time that you posted that ad and it was in Spanish. Like, that was hilarious, the sales ad. What was that trying to tell you? Oh,
take it all over the world, baby.
Yeah, pretty much, probably. Oh, Espanol. You speak Espanol. But thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Go and check her out. Absolutely. You know what? You definitely have changed the way that I show up as well. Also, I feel like you definitely give permission more so to like be yourself. So I feel like I definitely seeing you and you doing your thing has almost like given me permission to like be more of myself. So thank you for doing that. You're doing amazing work in the work. I know, I love you too. Fangirl. Still fangirling over here.
I'm still fangirl you, bitch. I'm obsessed with you.
Same. So let's be obsessed together in this double-ended episode. So thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jeannie. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. Bye.
Aw, thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast. This is where we're breaking free from outdated ideas of what it means to lead from intuition and stepping into a new era of multidimensional leadership. If this episode resonated with you, it would mean the world to this small town gal if you could please take a moment to rate, review, follow, and share the podcast with someone who really needs to hear it. To learn more about working with me, head to junemac.com or come say hello on social media on all platforms at Ms. June Mac. Thank you so much for being here, for investing in yourself, and for being part of the intuitive and untamed movement.